So we're back again for our third attempt at the World Class Battle League Season 2 Post-Draft Power Rankings. I am one of your analysts, CB, coach of the Chicago Bears, and with me is Nada. Say hi, Nada.
Hi, I'm coach of the Stockton Heatrons. Hello.
Hello. And this is our third attempt, so hopefully we are good at this by now.
Woohoo! Oh yeah.
So starting off, we have your number 16, the Dallas Starmies, coached by A Guy. What you gotta say about A Guy?
Yep. Pretty simply, his team is extremely ground weak and slow, with probably Doug Trey and Dedenne and Mega Pidgeot topping out his speed. I also don't like Dedenne just because I don't see what it adds to his team as a fairy. I think he could have chosen a better one. But I do like that he has the trio on his team because it would beat him otherwise. Like it would probably beat his whole team. And Leafeon, while I do not like it as a pick, I think it helps mitigate the ground weakness issue. But it's not my favorite, obviously. That's why I put it there.
My turn?
What do you have to say?
Okay.
Yep.
I liked it in 8. That's why I don't have him in 16th, but I have him in 14th.
Okay
Ma-
then.
Mainly because his only hazard removal is his Mega Pidgeot, and running Defog on that and bringing it every week is not a good strategy because Mega Pidgeot is probably better off being a special attacker,
Oh yeah.
and he can't get rid of the rocks, which hinder his Weavile, which is one of his main offensive threats.
Yeah. Not seeing too much support for it, but I don't know. Probably setting rocks would be like the best way to counter like defog and whatnot to have other people get rid of hazards for him. That's the only thing I can see.
Yeah, but
But
well, I guess he does have Toxic Spikes on Dragalge. But besides that,
not
it's
too.
just rocks. Okay,
Yeah.
next up,
Not too.
in your 15th and my fourth, wow, big
Is your
difference,
fourth?
is the
Yeah.
Virginia Voltorbs, coached
Oh
by
yeah.
Ark. What you gotta say about Ark's team?
Um. First off, well, I do like the spinners he has. I don't think they should have been on the same team because you're basically opting out of using one of them because bringing both seems extremely redundant to me. Also, besides Ash Ninja and Thunderous, his team's looking pretty slow, which I guess would support him, except he doesn't have any like walls or standard pivots that could help Ninja. I thought he'd build more around it. That's sort of what I was hoping for. So that's why I'm a little
Solo.
disappointed. Yeah,
I like
so
his
low.
team because since he has that Thunderous T with the Vault Absorb, his Ashby Ninja doesn't have to fear those electric moves, as well as with the ground type in Claydol. And even though his team is slow, I believe Claydol does get Trick Room, and so does Gardevoir, which can be useful for his slower mons. Hitmontop, I think, is one of hands down the best spinners with the Intimidate, and with its naturally high Spadef. Um, and with his Type Null with the Eviolite, that bulk is undeniable. And that's about
Definitely.
it. I feel like his bulk can help with his faster, weaker, not as bulky mons. And with that
Yeah.
Celesteela, with that Beast Boost, you don't know what kind of Beast
That's true.
Boost it could get. It could get like a defense boost or an attack boost. You
Yeah, I
never
suppose
know.
that'd be the way to make it a wall. And it's just sort of fourth gen of me to see how bolt beam weak he is, because those two moves do a lot to most of the teams here, but it's noticeable the farther you go down on our lists. So
I guessed.
that's really it.
Next
There's
up.
nothing much. I don't like dislike it.
Oh, okay. We have not improved, even though this is our third attempt. Okay, next up
Sorry. No.
is your 14th, my 16th, the BC Cobalions, coached by Bryce. I'll take it first.
Yep.
The reason
Sure.
why I have Bryce so low is because his hazard removal is his Yanmega or his Scizor, which are both bug types. So if he opts to bring it, everyone knows just to bring a fire type move. And the fact that he has multiple overlapping with types with the double steel, the double bug, the double ghost, the double electric, and the double dragon. That is just way too many overlapping types. You want to add something?
I I would say I just like Suicune and Amoonguss together, but I would say that Garchomp, Mega Garchomp, like could be supported by Suicune if he runs Tailwind, or I guess Mega could run it, but it seems sort of redundant with its ability. But
Maybe it's
pretty much
Tintin
do it all.
Lens Yanmega. I think that's its other ability, isn't it?
Spec and then Tailwind.
Yep.
Free coverage. It does make it easy for like opponents to prep for. I think that's something he'll have trouble with later, but he can obviously make some moves.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
That's all I had to say. Moving on to the Kentucky Crocodiles, your 13th, my 6th, coached by Justin. Uh, you want to go? Should I go?
I can just go as quickly as possible. I think if he's building around Magearna, his team's pretty ground weak with what's it, four weaknesses, and his immunities and resists are all really weak to ice. And then there's Alamola, which I just don't like. And Avalugg, okay, it's like better than Delibird, but I wouldn't say it's my preferred spinner in tier 5, I suppose.
Yeah, I kind of have the same complaints about his hazard removal.
Yeah. I guess Gliscor with Hypercutter, it's not the worst, but obviously it's a bad way to run Gliscor in League, so
yeah,
not really liking
if
it.
he opts the defog on Gliscor, well, I guess he can't run Poison Heal. At least that's less to worry about. That's kind of why I didn't have him up in like the top 5 because of that poor hazard removal. But besides that, I think his mons cover all the types that you need in a draft, and with that fast Alakazam and that prankster Tornadus, you could. Tornadus Eye does get Tailwind, right? I'm not just imagining that.
No, I'm trying to remember what else it gets besides bulk up. It's not very.
That prankster Thunder Wave. Does it get Thunder Wave? Or is that Thunderous? I always mix the two up.
It's Thunder. It doesn't get Thunder Wave, but it gets Tailwind.
I guess prankster Tailwind's not bad.
No, Trick Room would suit him. Like even if it's just Magearna, I suppose, because Magearna has great coverage, so maybe he would want to run Trick Room Alakazam. It's
maybe
sort of just up to him.
But Magearna is probably one of the reasons why I have him higher up, is because Magearna is hard to deal with, especially with defensive mons like Alomola and Shaman and Gliscor can come in on those ground type moves.
Oh yeah.
But he does have to watch out for the ground type moves.
Yeah, I suppose he's not going to be bringing all his ground weaknesses, but it limits him, I suppose, which is sort of an issue when like 4 of his mons all suffer under the same issue. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, so moving on. Next in your 12th, my 9th is Charlotte Celestelas, coached by Killa. I'll go first on this. Why I have him more in the middle of the pack is the fact that even though with that sand team with the Stoutland and Gigalith, He only has Lando T. It would have been better if he got Lando I, but I do believe that that was taken like the round before he could pick it. And the
Yeah, I
fact
think
that
so.
his last mon is Cottony on his team. Cottony is a questionable choice, even though it does get the Prankster Memento. That is
Like,
one
I just,
move.
yeah,
I don't see him
it's
bringing it
Encore.
all ever. Don't see him
Well,
bringing
see,
Cottony once. If he brings Cottony once, I will applaud him, but I do not think he is
I'll assume it's
bringing it more
German.
than that. And that is one less
Well,
mon
see,
that people have to worry about.
yeah, well, it gets Encore, it gets Cotton Garden Stun Spore, and it gets Switcheroo.
Yeah, but
So I
it
guess
is weak.
that's yes, that's sort of what's really putting me back, and the fact that it's his fairy. If I'm yeah,
Yes,
he
that is right.
yeah, so it's just making like his steel type isn't too strong, so it's like strong dragons could tear through him, but luckily Dragonite wasn't drafted. I think it's only Salamence. So
Yeah,
that sort of
Dragonite
thing
was not
makes
drafted.
it dangerous. All right. I think Dhelmise and Mandibuzz both, like together, sort of share similar weaknesses that make hazard removal difficult. And
Ice being their common
one,
weakness.
yeah, he sort of expect like with things like Scolipede and Ash Ninja, I'd expect like pivots. That's sort of my thing with threats like those, but all his pivots seem to be, besides Magneton, they seem to be weak to ice. So
That
that's something he
Lando,
has to look
that
out for.
Mandibuzz. Mega Lopunny gets Baton Pass, doesn't it? Could use that.
Yeah, Cosmic Power Baton Pass. That's banned, actually.
Wait, we banned that?
No, it's speed and another stat. Never mind. He can totally do Cosmic Power.
Yeah,
Pass
that
with his
Cosmic Power Mega Lopunny.
That could totally set up for Scolipede to do a lot of work. So maybe just throwing
Pass it
ideas.
into that Cottony.
Oh boy! And then he sets up and Mementos, ultimate killing machine. Maybe he leech seeds and does the cancer move, but I'm
Maybe.
mildly interested in his reasoning behind it. Besides the fact that it's a fairy type, like Wigglytuff is still there. I'm only partially joking. So
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say.
Okay. I do like that, the fact that he's Dolomize as his spinner with Mandibuzz. Even though that they share a common weakness in ice, he does have that Magneton and Stoutland and Gigalith for that Sand Core, which can help break down ice types really quickly.
There's not too many ice types running around. It's more
Yeah, I
like
know.
Ice Beam being a very common move.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Also melodic.
That brings us to, I believe, you. You have yourself at 9th, and I have you up in 3rd. Why do you degrade yourself so much, Nana? Hello, Nana? You there? Nana? Hello?
What up?
We're up to you. In your 9th pick, the
Sorry.
Stockton Heatrans. You have yourself in 9th. I have you in 3rd.
Oh. Why did I scroll down? That was totally my bad. I just my volume got extremely low because I got a call, so
Oh, okay.
apologies.
No problem.
Alright. Just try to fucking remember what I drafted.
Infernape, Nidoqueen, Fortress, Kyurem, Comfy, Musharna, Mega Absol, Tapu Fini, Superior, Rotom, and Swallow.
Yeah. Okay, my plan into this was to get probably more bulk than I went out with, and I'm still like questioning the superior pick because I think I could have gotten a better grass type. Otherwise, I'm fine with like I like the removal. I would say like Comfy doesn't seem like a really like potent pick if you're looking at it on the surface, but it's a very good late game cleaner. That's all I can say. Because I haven't used it too much, but I do like using it, and it's a cleric that I can use besides Misharna. And
Clerics are
Infernape's
always
looking
good.
really good against most of these teams. Is my volume okay?
Yeah, your volume's A-okay.
All right. Um, I guess I I
Why?
wouldn't say it's my preference with playing bulky offense, and my goals now are to try and have more bulk, but went a bit offensive, so trying to adapt more to what I normally play with. Though I think I'll be using Kiram, Nidoqueen, and Tapu Fini like pretty well if things go well. Luckily, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Do you have any comments?
I do have some comments. I don't really know you that well as a player, so I
Mm,
mostly did it based on the team. And I think your team is one of the better, well-rounded teams. You have Infernape, Neoqueen, and Fortress as your hazard setters. So each week, someone has to predict which of those three is setting hazards for you. Most likely, it's going to be Fortress, but you never know. It could be that Stash lead Infernape with Stealth Rock. And then you have Tapu Fini with that Misty Terrain set up, so you do not have to worry so much about statuses. But that also goes both ways. But really, your main statuser would probably be the Musharna or the Rotom. Um, you do have Swallow, which hits hard and doesn't really have many switch-ins.
mm,
And the switch-ins for Swallow can easily be destroyed by Infernape. And I just really like your
mm,
team because it's well balanced.
thanks. I went the true route and tried to not duplicate any typings, so I hope he sees this
Yeah,
and
you don't
realizes.
have any duplicate typings. That's also a plus.
Yeah, sort of worked out in terms of less ground weaknesses than I thought would happen. So that's nice. Trying to
And
remember
now
what.
into the top 8 then for you.
Okay.
Okay, in your number 8, you have the Harfoam Hoopas. I have them in 10th, coached
Mm,
by Spectrum.
do you have something to say about his
Yeah, I
team?
do have something to say about his team. He kept on going on
Fire.
and on about Volcarona being such a god, but his team I think is quite weak to ground as is, and that will body his team quite hard with the Stonequake combination.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how Klefki could Fairy Lock in his opponent so he could switch. But I'm pretty sure the way I read its description for Fairy Lock, Klefki would also get trapped in. I might be wrong. It might be
Mm,
like block, but that just
no, it
means
does.
as soon as he switch,
Prevents all Pokemon from switching.
yeah, it says all mons from switching. So I'm pretty sure that also means Klefki.
That that seems like a doubles move, honestly.
Yeah,
That's
I
what it
know.
means. No.
So I think
Quite
he has that wrong.
better.
And his team is hella fast. So if someone has a Trick Room team, he really has no way of dealing with that except for maybe his Gorgeist and Glaceon.
Mm-hmm.
As well with his hazard removal and Starmie and Skunk Tank to get rid of those rocks for Volcarona. Skunk Tank, I don't really see it as that bulky of a mon. He may prove me otherwise, and same kind of with Starmie. I see it more as a offensive threat than than defensive with Rapid Spin. But if his main focus is his Volcarona, like he says, that means he most likely will have to bring either his Skunk Tank or Starmie with hazard removal, and then either Klefki or Starmie with like screens to help support it. What you got to say?
I think for his like vision of building around Volcarona, he's extremely pressured into bringing specifically Starmie every week for the fire types because he has 2 fire resists and well, he has a few weaknesses, but he doesn't exactly handle fire types well with this draft in general. I suppose like does JS have Arcanine? Like Arcanine could probably tank any like especially defensive one could handle Volcarona very easily. So he like JS could easily predict around Starmie being or Zygarde.
Yeah,
Zygarde's not exactly
but if JS
weakness.
brings like Arcanine with Intimidate, he has to worry about that Pro Ugly with like, I believe it's Defiant, and gets that +2 attack boost instead.
Which I like. I think it's neat, but
It's not fire
I
switching, even with that
thought
big
of it
bat.
more in terms of default, like with deterring hazard, which is also pretty interesting. But he has better. Let's see, his Starmie. Maybe it could be like a 6th pick, but it doesn't. I don't know. Like I don't think it handles steel types well at all. Like Purugly has really bad coverage in my eyes,
Oh,
and
I liked it. Back in the day, I used to use it.
all you NU folks, I do think the Starmies that people might be thinking of when they refer to bulky ones are like the Reflect type, Recover,
I
Cosmic
guess.
Power sort of deal.
Yeah, in one league I ran Starmie with Cosmic Power. I believe it was Recover, Toxic, and Psywave, or I believe. And I
Oh,
almost ran for it through someone's team, except they had I believe is either Blissey or a Eviolite Chansey. And even
oh,
then, the Chansey was almost taken out by it with Toxic.
that's cool.
It's not a bad mon. I just don't like it as a tier 1. I think it's more of a tier 2 pick.
Yeah, I agree. Like, not necessarily about his viability, but it gets picked way less as a tier 1 to me. So it's like it's valued more when it's a tier 2. And with his like slight fire problem, he's really pressured into bringing it. So most opponents will know what to expect with like offensive or defensive Starmie. You don't really have more options than that, I suppose. And what else? I see it like the idea of Kabalion and Klefki because it sort of exacerbates his fire problem. I don't like them both, but I wouldn't know which one to replace per se, like a fighting or a fairy.
Yeah, I guess.
I wouldn't know, but
Anything else on Spectrum you want to say? Maybe something about him as a coach, personally.
oh my god, no! I was trying to like figure out something to say about Glaceon because
Glaceon's okay.
his,
It's a nice type, but it's slow.
yeah, it's not helping with his hazard problem, uh, as well as ice not being a good defensive typing
Yeah.
really could have.
It'd probably be
I don't
better
know.
in a team with like
So
webs
I'm not
with
going
its
to make
speed
any
stat.
blanket of. Oh wait, I had more written. I don't know what to.
Spectrum, you're going 0-15. That's all I gotta say. I'm calling it out.
You hold, rein the horses in. I think his theory on Fat Wishes isn't really applicable to his team because it has so low HP because Glaceon's HP is
Yeah,
gonna be
but the
like
rest of
the
his
wishes
team
maybe
barely
more
has
like
an
60
HP as
to
well.
70%. Yeah,
I think
and passing it to
Perugly might
Frogmons.
have the highest HP. I'm not sure. Maybe Skunk Tank. I don't know them all off the top
My.
of my head.
No, it's Stuntank. I
Skunk
think he
Tank.
said so.
Oh,
Yeah. Or I could just pull up his page, but
you could.
I'm gonna just draft page.
Just pretend like we know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, we're professionals. I have nothing else to say.
Okay,
You kind of
I
want
don't. I already
too
called
much
them out.
You called him out twice. You can speak your mind.
It's
Really.
all in fun. I know Spectrum's
Oh
gonna do well.
yeah, I think he's pretty excited for this season. So I hope for good results out of him.
Yeah,
I want to see how the team works personally because it just looks sort of like hyper offense with Clucky and Glaceon. So we'll see.
I do like that he has Tornadus Variant. I had it last season, and it put in a lot of work with that regen U-turn.
Mm.
So
Like that's one of its best roles, but
it's
so
bulkier than it looks.
well,
Slap an AB on it.
yeah. I just say that without the AV, it's pretty well, like flying's just not a good defensive type. So all the bulk is just like
Uh,
resisted hits. Big compared to Volcarona somewhat, but still doesn't really. Most of these mons can't handle fire types too well. That's really like what bothers me and why I didn't put him higher. So and that's it.
that's it. So we can move on now. Now that we've analyzed Spectrum so much compared to everyone else. Okay, in your 7th, and I believe it is my 13th, we have the Hamilton Torcats coached by Zone. Should I start or should you start? You should probably start. You have better things to say.
Well, I mean, I have a lot of things I like about the team, and that's probably what kept my opinion high because I like Metacham Mega and Webs. That seems like a very volatile pairing, but it does sort of rely on Galvantula first, like setting them and then keeping them there. So I like Galvantula and Jellicent for blocking spin. Jellicent's pretty good, like valuable water to add to it. And I want to add Tyranitar with the combination of all this sort of stops the bulky psychics that like have a chance of living any hit Metacham has to offer. So and Excadrill is sort of like an afterthought because it doesn't really have to run Sand Rush. It functions better on this team as the hazard remover and the mold breaker mon. So
I think
it's looking good to me.
I
And I
think you
also
kind
like
of hit on what I have a problem with.
all right.
The problem I have is that he has both Excadrill and Sand Slash, and that's kind of questionable to me, even though he does have the Tyranitar. It's just adding the same weaknesses, basically double. Sand Slash is basically
Yeah.
a worse version of Excadrill. You're more likely to run Rapid Spin on it,
I'd say
but
different.
Excadrill does get Rapid Spin itself, so I don't know. And the fact that he has both Noivern and Staraptor, I think they somewhat fit the same role as fast flying types, even though Noivern is dragon as well. It just increases his ice weakness, which I think is a problem for him. So any water type could probably deal with a lot of his team with the water ice combination that most water types get.
Yeah, he has Rosary too, which stacks with spikes and toxic spikes with webs and Galvantula, which I'm assuming he'll bring if he wants to support his Metacham as
Yeah.
much as possible. That's all the hazards. So it allows him to put pressure on his opponents to remove hazards well.
Yeah.
not getting killed by just sort of like based on what I know of how he plays is what I think is going to happen. He'll just pressure his opponents with hazards or most likely webs because they're more dangerous than the rest of his hazards, and then meta champ sweeps, Excadrill sweeps. You know what, I originally was going to defend Sandslash by saying it got knockoff while Excadrill didn't, but it's sort of a very minor
thing.
positive.
Could have gotten some other
Yeah,
Monmouth knockoff.
that's true. I do like Magmortar, though I forget what it does.
Magmortar
Besides,
is pretty good. In the IPCC, I believe we were both in. I had it, and I had a god set with I forget what kind of berry it is, but it's the one that increases your Spadef when hit by a special attack. And then I also ran barrier to increase its defense 2 stages at a time.
Oh my. Jeez.
Gave it Belch since it had the berry on it. Ate the berry. Blew back a Clefable.
You know what this does good with, though? Webs.
Yeah, it does go well with webs. Because it also gets Belly Drum. And if you slow Mons down to its speed, you can set up the Belly Drum and not have to go for like the Flame Charge to boost its speed to take out Mons.
Yeah.
But I probably have him so low just because I dislike Mega Medicham, because I think regular Medicham is so much better, because Mega Medicham does rely on like webs or tailwind to help get its speed just up to be able to take out those faster threats to it.
Yeah. Does Northern get tailwind?
Noivern does get tailwind, I believe. Yeah. 90% sure. Staraptor also gets tailwind and defog if he wants to run a defensive Staraptor with Intimidate. You never know.
Comment on Staraptor as a Zmon because I'm a little. I wouldn't say like it's a bad pick, but
I think he had a better choice in like Tyranitar or maybe Excadrill.
Maybe Excadrill, because I'm thinking that the added damage of Reckless in with the recoil moves that he has would probably like almost even out with what a Z move could do.
Yeah.
You can use double edge multiple times. Alright, sorry about that.
We are at an intermission because, oh, never mind, not an intermission, maybe an intermission. I'll wait for Nada to give me the okay to continue.
I'm hearing a garage right behind me, so I'm gonna have to apologize for my extreme unprofessionality.
I can't hear it. My fan's probably louder, anyways.
Yikes. There's a garage opening behind me, so I'm waiting for it to go.
Can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it?
I can't hear it.
Alright, I thought you said you couldn't hear me. I'm like, oh, I'll give up now.
No.
That is
misunderstanding. Total professionalism here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe by the end of the season we'll have like a rhythm going.
Yeah, probably. Probably at the last one.
Oh yeah. We'll be sleek as fuck. And we'll have less to talk about probably because we'll know what all these teams can do.
Yeah.
Instead of just theorizing about them.
And next up on the list is you have me at 6, which is a surprise since I have myself at 12, which is pretty low.
Oh, I see a little switch we did there.
Yeah.
Considering you put me so high up. Maybe
what do you like about my team? It's pretty trash. But that's just my playstyle.
I didn't want to like I did want to ask you about why you didn't make Mew your Z captain, because I think after our allowing Munium Z that it would be a pretty good candidate,
It
but
is a pretty
with
good
other
candidate, but I want to run other items on it, and I think Flygon is a better choice for a Z captain because it does not have the best attack or special attack. Its attack, I believe, is 100. Special attack is around 80, but it does get a lot of coverage moves with that special and that physical side. And hitting things with like Tectonic Rage and stuff can do a lot of damage from the Flygon.
of course, I do like Flygon as a captain. I just like hope it gets used, out of
Don't worry, I'll
the
definitely use it. Hit people with that
okay.
Z boom burst.
Oh my. I, I took a second there. What? All right.
Just kidding.
I like that your speed tier seem pretty balanced around base 100, but there's enough bulk to substantiate like anything like Ambipom. I didn't know it was a tier 5 first of all, but I think it's supported by the bulkier mons like Primarina and Escav and Chestnut, which I like together too. And I'm mostly a sucker for the U-turners that make up almost half your team. That because it allows you momentum, and that's one of my like favorite strats in leagues. So I why did I pointed that out because you turning into things like Mach or Mew has the potential to work out really well for you. So I'm just like pointing it out as a pretty big positive because this seems pretty balanced looking to me.
Thanks. Now I'm going to
Of
bring
course.
myself down if it's okay with you.
Oh sure, I like put myself at 9, but I didn't. I wouldn't say I have too many reasons. Just like I like nitpicking at myself. So you can
uh,
go ahead.
I'm going to nitpick my team. I
Okay.
was intentionally going for U-turners and vault turners. That kind of core because I do feel like that helped me last season, gaining momentum and putting mons in that will help me. But I do have a problem with that. Like 3 of my mons have base 100 speed, and my speed tiers aren't all that great. I personally think that. And as well as my only rocker is going to be that Mew, and I do not want to bring rocks on Mew every week, and I do not want to bring spikes on Chestnut all that often. As well as I do not have a cleric, and I do like to play a more stally game with a cleric. But without that, even with bulky
Oh,
mons like Chestnut and Zapdos and Mew, I will have trouble keeping them high up in health.
yeah. Something like Sylveon might have
Sylveon was drafted
might have
early.
taken. Yep, I had to check myself there. Apologies.
You are a bit
Oh,
quiet.
oh, I put the mic farther away from me. Is this okay?
That's okay. Uh, Probably didn't help for my fairies that I did wait like super long to get it. Mostly because my
Mm-hmm.
plan was thrown into disarray with the round 3 snipe of my Tangrowth by Arc.
See, that's just a very popular. It's one of the most popular ones. I don't see why anyone plans on getting it anymore. Just get it
It
right.
moved up to tier 2. I figured that it would have been like longer before someone decided to pick it.
Eggs and bacon.
Yeah.
You're mistaken. It's. Was. I would have seen this. Well, it depends on what your original plan was, but if you had another rocker, I think it would have worked out better for you then too.
Yeah, I was planning on having a different rocker. I believe it was in one of my tier 3 picks. But I had to switch that with Chestnut to get my grass defensive mon.
Well, I do like the Aurora Veil potential you have going on too, because that's a really hip and poppin' fucking form of support these days. If you want to
Yeah,
just
that's
be a
mainly
melee,
why
yeah, you don't
I
have to
drafted
much
Ninetales
more.
Alolan form.
Can't Mew act as a cleric though? I'm just curious.
Uh, who?
It gets heal bell.
Who gets Heal Bell?
It does get heal bell.
Alolan Ninetales?
No, Mew.
Obviously Mew does, but I don't want it to be running like a defensive Mew all
Yeah.
season.
Yeah. Well,
I want it more for its offensive capabilities to make it shine.
you could have drafted more walls around it then. That's an issue with Mew. It being like a jack of all trades and a master of none
Yeah, I
type of
guess.
deal.
I didn't have a plan starting off because people, not naming names, released the remaining tier changes like the night right before the draft.
Yeah, that's pretty hectic. And you being 14th probably did not help in your hopes.
We
Do you have
done?
anything
We
else
done with
to?
me?
Well, like considering that I previously didn't think you were going for balance, I like this team as a bulky offensive type of team, but
I think
I can
it's
understand.
well balanced.
Yeah,
Main overlap is Alolan Ninetales and Primarina, but I feel like they serve different purposes.
yeah, extremely. See it Ninetales more as a nice type. Anyway,
Moving on. This is the one of the two we actually agree on. The Dallas Alma Stars, coached by Victini's secret. I wonder what his secret is. And we both have him
secret
at
is
5.
Pokemon. You want to start first?
Sure, as his last reigning champion of last season, I had high hopes for him. What did I write about him? Let me look.
Sounds like you have a however there. Is it the Empoleon?
What?
It sounds like you were like going to say however.
However, let's see. He has Gudra and Salamence. That is one of my problems why he isn't like the top 2, top 3 people
Yeah.
with that ice weakness, with that Leavanny being blown back. I feel like him and someone else I have in the top like 4 have a weakness to an ice type with freeze dry, but I think there's only 3 of them out there, and I believe Teeny has one of them.
Yeah.
But good
Very
bulk all around. His hazard removal is that Empoleon and keeping off things off the field with his Mega Diancie. Salamence can get defog, but Salamence as a defogger, not really my preferential. He did draft himself
the
with Victini. I do like that Savali pick with the 4 other types. I feel like his 4 types that he drafted help support the rest of his team, and depending on which one he brings, it could support a different kind of core that he brings. You're a bit quiet again.
Tap tap.
Tap tap.
I'm like trying to figure out what happened to my volume, so I might be a little quieter.
I could turn up your settings on Discord. Voice.
Okay.
Output volume to the max. You're now at max output.
To the max.
You're
We're doing it live.
You're still average. Average volume.
Wow. I feel average in volume.
Yep, there you go.
Uh,
What do you guys say about our last season champion, Teeny, and his team?
well, the Gudra pick, like, it makes sense as a wall. I just think that it gives him a dragon and fairy weakness that isn't exactly covered by much besides Victini and Empoleon. I like Levani. I think with Mamoswine and Victini has the potential to pair up and be
What?
really threatening just with webs. How's my volume?
It's perfect. Right there.
That's great. Or I'll like try because this is hovering right next to my face. So
Because
I'll
that's
do
more
my best.
than good.
Uh,
It's great.
I
Copyrighted.
trying to think of
Sorry.
no Meloetta. Um, well, he doesn't have another normal type besides Silvally. It has a potential to be fast and a cleric, and I hope he'll consider because he's seen me use it in another league. I hope he'll think about using Relic Song Last Resort, Silk Scarf to
That
clean
sounds
things.
powerful.
It almost worked for me. I didn't prep
Almost.
really well around it, so obviously he now that he has the power, he can probably do wonders with it and not do just last resort because Meloetta's move pool is pretty diverse. Um, I I don't think throw is like it's seen as bulky in PU. Well, now it's in NU, so my bad.
I
But
wouldn't know that. It's been a while since I've laddered.
no, guess there weren't many other tier 5 fighting types that fit a bill, so I'm wondering if it will get used, like
It has the
how to go
insta
with it
crit.
because
No matter what, it can crit
oh,
something.
storm, right?
And then it can also shuffle things out.
Circle throw too. You make a good point. Um, wish he had something like a spinner, but it's not me asking him to get something like a Mala or anything.
Yeah,
It'd probably just help immediate removal.
I think he's pretty good with Defog on Empoleon and trying to keep things off with Mega Diancie.
Yeah, like Defog and Rapid Spin have their ups and downs.
It's
Both.
not that hindered by rocks. Salmonson, Victini, maybe, and Mamoswine, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything else to say. What about you?
I think I'm pretty much done with Teeny. Hopefully he does well and defends his title, but you never know. We have a lot of new people here. Unpredictability.
Oh yeah. Uh,
Next up, we go next up.
yep.
Your number 4, my number 7. Chu, coach of the Vancouver Victinis, which is not coached by Victini's Secret,
Victini.
and he does not have Victini because Victini's Secret has Victini. If only he had this team name, he would be Victini squared or cubed.
It's all out there now. His team name is Victini, and Victini's team with Victini's name is Dallas Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Do you want me to start? I do have him lower. Why I have Chu lower, or why you have Chu higher?
No, I think you can start with the lows because I had like one like issue, but then a few compliments, so we can have a compliment like inside of a criticism sandwich.
Criticism sandwich? Now you're just making me
Yeah,
hungry.
maybe Maybe. Well, you just had dinner, didn't you?
Yeah, I had some
Oh,
burgers.
darn. How about we get through this recording first?
Sure. Well, my problem with Chu's team, the fact that he has a few setup fodders in like the Oxus defense and Aromatisse and sometimes Reggie Steele. And I feel like a lot of his team does get blown back by either like fighting or maybe a knockoff. So like a fighting type with knockoff is somewhat common. Could do a lot to his team. I do like the fact that he has two of the best spinners in Donphan and Serena. I'm expecting
Yeah.
him to a few times bring Serena not as a spinner but more as a physical attacker because its physical attack is actually, I believe it's 120 if I'm not mistaken.
You're not mistaken.
Yeah, that's quite high even though it's more used as a spinner. Hitting things with that drop kick or high jump kick or play rough with that high attack will do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
My other problem. Oh wait, no, never mind. What did I write about you? You can continue about why he's good while I look up what I wrote why he was bad.
Um. Well, I don't. First of all, I don't think Deoxys defense is as passive as you're making it out to be. It's just that
Uh,
most of the time you're not going to invest much in its attacking stats. But I think Chu will, like, he takes these Pokemon so you can customize the EVs. So they'll probably have a good time with running things like Ice Beam, T-Bolt, coverage for Psychics, coverage for Runaway Volcarona. Who knows? I feel like after what after he decided to go with Mega Gyarados and Deoxys together, that there was not too much that's breaking some of this. And I think Registale's annoying. I think personally Regigigas is annoying, but I can see the value in it. And Aromatisse and Donphan. And well, I guess he's that's really all the bulk he has, but it makes up about half his team, which is somewhat daunting. And the one criticism I did have that was like noticeable is that he has a pretty large speed gap between 100, 110, and 130. So that'd probably make it easier for other teams to creep. But
um,
I really like Serena. I like that he has Entei too because even though he doesn't have too many pivots or like momentum grabbing Pokemon, he could probably do something with Komodo.
I think
Komodo.
Serena and Jolteon are the only two mons on this team that get momentum. Unless there's something
Yeah.
else I'm missing.
And no, Serena's like it has a pretty shell move pool, but I think even with screens and Queenly Majesty and spinning and its physical attack stat that it makes for a very good utility mon. And it's supported by literally everything else because he has what I'm assuming is the bread and butter of balance, and then Mega Gyarados.
It might
So
have just been the way I did these power rankings. I did a merge sort, so I compared two by each other and then continued working my way in. And maybe he just happened to be below someone one on one that he is
look
better than
better
some other
match.
teams that are above. That might have just been
Yeah,
what I did.
we're working on this, folks. We'll
He'll probably
have
move
more
up next week.
for this next time. Yeah, definitely. We'll have extensive notes.
Extensive notes. And then
Like
anything else you want to mention about his team with the DOD dropping so far to the 13th pick? I'm
um,
surprised he got it.
yeah, me too.
Interestingly, I was thinking of getting it, but I had a plan for Infernape first because I was at a trip, so
That was also
I
Drew's
think.
plan until you took him for Nape, so you decided to go with DOD when it got to him.
Well, it's funny how that works out, but I guess you're right. And now he has pretty. Like
Pretty
his team
bulky
probably
team.
has the highest HP from what I'm assuming. Not HP, but defenses with the Reggies.
At least he doesn't have the
And
lowest speed. The lowest
yeah,
speed is
no.
Bryce, I believe.
Oh, I was gonna say egg guy, but
Bryce
no, that's
probably
just
has.
me.
I think Bryce has the lowest, and then I did write down the averages. I believe it's Arc is the second slowest, or
All
maybe
right.
it's no Z. Z is the second slowest. Then it's Arc.
Oh, I'm
Surprisingly,
about to do a check. Oh, never mind. I didn't fill his stats in yet, so we'll see.
we good on that?
After. I don't have anything
I
else.
feel like we missed. Did we skip over Ryan, or did I just forgot to cross off his name? Oh yeah, we did.
Oh.
Yeah, we did. My bad.
Oh, jeez.
I just
Oh,
wait. Did we?
oh, what? Yeah, we did skip over him.
Oh, we did skip over Ryan. Yeah, I have him at 8th. You have him at 11th.
Yeah.
Our bad, Ryan. We love you.
We're feeling really guilty right now.
Yep. So much that next week we'll move you up 2 spots. Not really. Maybe.
What's it called? It's a pleasantry sort of thing, so that you can get your kicks in being. Well, no, he's still gonna be 9, I suppose. It's fine. Let's talk about
Ryan.
why. Well,
London Lucarios.
Yeah.
With the Lando Eye, Togekiss, Vaporeon, Tentacruel, Rotomo, Liepard, Mega Scizor, Latios, Reuniclus, Blaziken, and Miltank.
Surprised you got Miltank last.
Yeah, usually Miltank is like
do you want to go first?
somewhere in the middle of the picks. Sure, why not? Why I have him at 8th is probably because he does have a, I want to say, bug weakness a bit with the Latios, Reuniclus, Rotomo. What else do I have about Ryan? Oh yeah, he was one of the other people that I mentioned with a ice type with freeze dry will run out through his team quite well, hitting that Lando, Togekiss, Vaporeon, Tentacruel, Rotomo, and that Latios, which is over half his team.
Oh yeah.
But there are only like 3 out there.
Wink. All right, CV.
Wink, wink. What?
I don't think anyone else drafted a freeze dry mon.
What do you mean? Teeny with the Mamoswine. Mamoswine has freeze dry, and I believe Cryogonal gets freeze dry. Who has Cryogonal? I believe it's Antoine. Yeah, Antoine has Cryogonal. Right. So there's 3 out there. Okay. I'm just warning him.
That's a fair warning, because well, for starts, I think he could have, if he got Umbreon or something, I think would have suited him better than Vaporeon, because it didn't add much to his typings. And Umbreon's bulkier, quite frankly.
I feel like his Reuniclus wasn't really needed since he does have that Latios. Even though Reuniclus is more of a bulky mon, I feel like he could have probably gotten a bulkier mon somewhere else.
Yeah, they're like somewhat similar, but
Reuniclus is more of a setup mon.
Yeah, or Regen, AV, or Trick Room, and Thunder for some reason is getting really common now. I do like the Miltank. I think it mitigates the ice weakness. if it's not freeze dried, then he's already like somewhat weak to ice.
Yeah.
So that and Blaziken and Scizor help him out. This team's also kind of slow with Lando Eye. Am I missing something?
Latios is his
Liepard,
fastest.
yes.
Liepard and
Yeah,
Latios.
Latios is his fastest. And there's
Latios is his fastest at 110, I believe. Liepard, I think, is like, let me look it up.
104. Hold on.
10 something, 108.
It's 106.
Dang it, I was close. I knew it was an even number above 5.
Almost there.
I knew it was above 105 and it was even. It was either 106 or 108. 50-50, I guessed wrong.
50 chance. Sounds good. I don't know. I like Togekiss. Well, really, it's just because Togekiss hasn't done me well through the last season because it hasn't ever gotten the flinch. But
except when I used it in the IPCC against you.
Exactly.
We don't talk about that
I've
game.
never gotten
We don't talk about that game with the Togekiss flinching almost all of his mons down.
I forgot about it already. I don't know what you speak for. I think it makes him Bolt Beam weak, quite frankly.
Yeah, Bolt Beam does run through his team quite a bit.
And the defog, he already has Latios, which is making me Latios and Scizor, which is making me feel like he could have gotten.
I don't really like to run defog on Latios. If it was Latios, then probably, but I usually probably use Latios more for attacking.
I know, personally, I like not running defog on Togekiss because running defog on rock weak mons tends to leave you vulnerable unless you're like fully defensive or whatnot. With at least Latios and stuff like Skuntank, you're not rocks weak when you remove your rocks. So that's sort of why I would prefer they didn't have Togekiss. Doesn't have any physical attacking mons.
Yeah, he's slacking on the physical side. Blaziken, Mega Scizor, Landolai. Well, sometimes Landolai. Landolai is mixed. Miltank's more of a bulky mon.
No, I guess can really just say Scizor and Latios pair well in a synergized tank. See them coming to a lot of his games because they work really well together. That's all I have to say. Sorry, Ryan, again.
Yeah, sorry, Ryan, we missed you. But this just means you get talked about later on, which makes you appear higher on the list.
It makes you more valuable in our hearts, even though we forgot.
Yeah.
Are we on number 3 now?
Yeah, number 3. And my number 2, the Wolverhampton Weebells, coached by last year's number 2, JS. You can kick off, JS.
Alright. Well, he seems to have a pretty balanced team. And I like Coco and Kieran Black together as a pretty scary offensive pair. Not really just because Coco by itself isn't intimidating. It's a pivot. And once it pivots into Kieran Black and you don't resist its Freeze Shock Z move, it's pretty much over. And the things that could normally stop it like Arcanine, he had. And has a pretty good spinner in Blastoise Mega, though a Cleric, the Paratha would have been pretty nice to see, but it's okay that he doesn't because Blastoise can not necessarily heal itself, but it's pretty bulky, and I like it with Arcanine and Decidueye.
Want me to take over?
I don't have much to say because I'm trying to think of
negatives.
My opinion on the squad, so you can take it.
Okay, I'll go. The reason why I have him number 2, not number 1, is just because Matt has a way better team. Not that there's anything really wrong with JS's team except for maybe a cleric, but he does have, like you said, Kyron Black and Tapu Koko. Not sure how he got those with being number 15th. 15th in the draft. Somehow he gets Koko and Kyron Black. But
we can just
sometimes you just luck out. He does. I do like the fact that he has double intimidate on Crocodile and Arcanine, as well as a fast lead rocker with Azelf. Right, Azelf does get rocks, or is that just Yuxi and Esprit?
No, they all get.
Just
rocks,
making sure,
so
because
yes,
some get some moves, some don't get other moves. It's very confusing. He does have his Mega Blastoise as a Rapid Spinner, but he also has Decidueye as a defogger, which is quite nice. And Decidueye I like as an overall grass pick because it does hit hard on the physical as well as the special side with that ghosting grass stab, which is hard to predict if it's going to be physical or special. Anything else you want to say, or should I continue talking?
You're pretty much taking my picks. I like to stress again how Kieran Black's a pretty good Z move user. And like the reason why we're stressing that it's so good with Coco is because normally the resists to Coco, typically grass, ground, poison types even, they don't handle Kieran Black very well. So we're thinking that JS will have a good time with it, and that the pair will probably scare a lot of people in prep and in game as well.
Yeah, one of the few problems I just now noticed with JS's team is his weakness to fighting. Even with that Crocodile's Intimidate, it won't like that. His Regirock, his Kieran Black, his Lucario, his Exploud don't like fighting types. But he does have that Decidueye, which could easily switch in on it.
Yeah, well, the fighting types without knockoff, you mean?
Yeah.
I think offensively they're dealt with.
He could always bring Cypher to deal with fighting types. It's fast. It hits pretty hard.
Oh yeah, it's Space Reminder, isn't it? I do like Cypher. And on this, I won't say the same thing about the next tier 5 bug type because I just don't really get it.
Wow. It's
really
okay. It's probably just people's experiences. JS also scores high with that Exploud, that Specs Boom Burst Scrappy. Nothing really wants to switch into that.
Pairs well with Coco as well.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah, but anything else to say? I'm done.
I'm pretty much done. Next up is your number 2, my number...
Where did you put him? Johnson City Jellison.
I think we also skipped Z at some point. I don't feel like we talked about him. We skipped 2 people.
Why would
I think we blacked out at some point. Okay, so my number 11, your number 2. We're going with Antoine, coach of the Johnson City Jellicents. We'll say Z after this. So Antoine, why do you have him at number 2?
Well, personally, while some of his mons might not look impressive, I love not just using. I love Golisopod in League. I think it pairs well with most fire types in League also because it has a good defensive typing, and it gives him spikes. I'm assuming. Yeah, he doesn't have any other setters besides Minior and Heatran and Stunfisk, which I'm ignoring.
Stunfisk, the godfish? Fish electric god?
More like a pancake.
What's wrong with pancakes are pretty shitty. French toast is where it's at. French toast and waffles.
Yeah, I would say there's not much over French toast versus waffles, I'd probably just have them both.
Yeah,
Um,
better than pancakes. Pancakes are the
wow.
worst.
I can only read Necrozma for some reason. Oh, it is his other rocker. But I think
Yeah.
you could have picked not a rock type, but
Not
because
another
Nihilus
psychic.
Yeah, I think it while it does add bulk, he already seems to be
Latias is
rocking a
already
pretty
bulky
bulky
enough
team,
for a
so
psychic type. He didn't need the Crossma.
yeah, so I'll
Or he could have gotten a better dragon.
probably never bring them both, and he can obviously prove us wrong on that. While Necrozma does have its own form of setup and does have a better physical move pool,
I think instead
not
of Latias, he should have drafted Dragon Knight. I feel like his team would have done well with Dragon Knight.
Oh
Maybe.
yeah, I didn't actually notice he was lacking one, but
What?
yeah, with that being that far into round 2, I guess he could have gotten a dragon, but
Latias is his dragon. That was his first pick. That's a dragon type, but it's also
what?
psychic. I'm saying instead of
He's missing
Latias, maybe he should have had Dragon Knight instead of Latias since he picked up Necrozma. I don't know.
Do you prefer Latios over it in general, or is it just
What?
something
I
that
like
you want
Latias over Latios.
Oh, okay.
Because Latios is bulkier and I believe it gets reflect type, which Latios does not.
It also gets healing wish. Well, it's more like Latios gets memento and Latios gets healing wish. It's just different utility.
I like gimmick mons like Latias with reflect type.
Ah, yes. So,
But Antoine's bug weakness. His first 3 mons get blown back by bugs. Zoroark and Crossmon Latias. Blown back by bugs.
Yeah, I guess that would make disguising wands pretty difficult if you turning out of the psychic types seem
He
so
could bluff
easy,
the Mini or Heatran lead. That's
well, it's
the way he deals with bug types.
Is what I'm saying.
I guess.
And we don't see him bringing both psychic types, but there's a chance he could. Anyway.
I also don't really like Golisopod.
Alright, well...
With that emergency exit. But it does help him take on ground types, but... I guess he's somewhat weak to ground types, but not really.
Not really. Everyone has somewhat of a weakness if they draft an electric and a fire type.
Yeah.
Type, but he has his bases somewhat covered, even though, he doesn't have a flying type, but he has Latias.
Minior gets flying type attacks, but that's like acrobatics, which requires him not to have an item or for him to use his item, so.
The amount of Pokemon trivia that's slipping my mind is downright rude.
It's okay. It's only the first time. Well, technically the third time, but the first week.
Okay. What was I gonna say? I'm interested in seeing if he'll use Minior, because I'm pretty sure it was just not cutting. It wasn't working for Chew
last season.
So maybe with the lower tier, it'll be serving as this.
You gotta watch out for its physical and special move pool.
Oh yeah.
Because you might be preparing for a physical Meteor, and then it turns out into special, and then blows back your physical defense.
It's always a possibility, but I'm pretty sure most people don't run it because it doesn't get a special flying move besides hidden power flying.
Yeah. But who needs flying stab?
Not many people, I suppose.
Just a few.
Run it gets a U-turn. It gets psychic. It gets dazzling gleam. I guess.
Minior gets U-turn?
Minior does get U-turn.
Wow, learn something new every day.
had no idea until I looked that up right now. The more you know, kids.
Can't get us off guard.
Oh yeah, you could like dress it up as a Zoroark and be like, oh, I guess since it learns U-turn,
It's a Zoroark.
totally a Minior. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it's like Florges is good. Craggle is also pretty good with him, but it's a good spinner for tier 5, and I guess in general because fast spinners are.
I kind of like how
in my
Zoroark
opinion,
pairs with
better
Mian
spinners.
Xiao. You could fake a U-turn or knockoff with the Zoroark being
Yeah.
the Mian Xiao, but it's actually a Zoroark. You've been bamboozled.
Ooh.
So should we go back down to Z now? Or you have more to say about Antoine?
Nope, I'm done. We can
Go back down to
go
Z.
Is it number 10?
Your number 10, my number 15. Oof.
Okay.
It's a very Z team, just saying.
I'm feeling like getting something like semis here, or you know what? I don't know what other tier 5 fires were available, but
Z does not have a fire type. That is one of his weaknesses.
It's sort of making it easier for grass types, especially since he has things like Xurkitree, which don't exactly like grass types, and
Manaphy.
Manaphy.
Whimsicott. Whimsicott doesn't like grass types.
Yeah. Realistically, could have gotten rid of Mantine too, but I see why he has it, considering that
Defog, it's his only hazard removal. That's also why I have Zelo, is because his only hazard removal is Mantine with Defog, and he has Shuckle on his team. If you have Shuckle, you do not want to be running Defog to get rid of those webs, those rocks, and whatever else you want to set up with Shuckle. Just to have it, you have to defog them away.
Yeah, sort of pressuring him to bring Mantine, and that's something that I glossed over. But I think it's like I wouldn't know which water type to switch, but it gives him somewhat of an electric weakness.
Watch out for those Bolt Beam combo. That does a lot to his
Bolt
team.
Beam's up. Yeah. And I don't mind Tauros. I know that it's about as strong as Mew, but its move pool is pretty shallow, so I'm not really excited about Sheer Force Fire Blast to hit KO and KO. It's just
I think he's more likely to use it as an intimidator.
He never really uses the fourth move on a Tauros, but he'll run special for the quad weak mons out there, so maybe Blizzard, maybe Ice Beam, who knows. It's probably the more sound part. I don't like Shuckle though. I think Hitmonlee would have been better, but
yeah,
it always fit the sort of stall playstyle is going, like Hitmonchan or Hitmontop.
Yeah, this team is really stally. He also doesn't have a Mon with a speed tier of 110 or higher. That's also a problem. That just allows people with faster Mons like Weavile and whatnot to not even run Jolly or Timid.
He has one Mon that's base 110, that's Tauros.
Oh, Tauros is 110? My bad. For some reason
I believe. Oh,
is it 110?
Whimsicott is 116, I believe.
Is it 116? No, it's not 116, is it? Look it up.
It is 116.
Oh, then I wrote it down wrong.
I guessed it right.
I wrote it down wrong then.
Right. Yeah.
I guess I wrote it down wrong. Oh, it is. My bad. Then I definitely wrote it down wrong.
Yeah, it's your bad. It's cool.
Writing mistakes.
Those are only 2
You can't
months.
catch everything. Can't catch them all.
Yeah, well.
Unless you're not.
I made like 2 mistakes, so this is fine.
I'm at 2. Actually, if we add the fact that we missed 2 people. We're up like
Well,
four.
then they
Four
were like
each.
cumulative, not cumulative. They were both of our mistakes, so we can just.
It's more my mistake. I have the list in front of me.
I. You're right.
Don't say I'm
I
right.
have to.
You need to take the blame as
I know
well.
God. Z and Ryan, if you're watching this, we're sorry. Please
We
skip ahead.
skipped. We skipped your 11 and 10, I believe.
Did I have notes? Wheezing, I don't like. I would prefer Garbodor over it because it runs a good weak armor set now that weak armor got buffed by having the speed raised by 2 stages. So it makes for really easy spike setting. But I do think Zerk and Cresselia pair well together. Like they stop their weaknesses. But
I feel like a lot of his offensive threats are like somewhat one-trick ponies with small move pools. Like Manaphy, he's going to be like running Z Rain Dance every week or Z Water MZ to blow people back. And with Circuitry, he's going to be running.
Cresselia gets plus. Cresselia is the true threat. They're all taunt bait. If you're asking me, I think that most of his team is, or like half of his team is.
Yeah.
But Cresselia, like people that don't prepare for it are getting 6-0'd. That might have been a spoiler.
I don't think anyone's going to be 6. Well, no one has yet. Unless I missed something. Did I miss something? Did I miss like 4 weeks of gameplay? And
well, okay, season 1 is actually not on the dock anymore, so.
Yeah, season 1 he blew a few people back.
Yeah.
But I don't count those because I joined it like halfway through.
Yeah.
But I did help build a few of those teams before I joined this league for Z.
Oh.
So it might have been a little bit of my help that helped him 6-0 people. Not saying that I'm a master strategist or something.
Not saying that you helped, but you
totally did.
team building people, but he really loves Cress, so
yeah.
That's why I'm like, I don't really, it like makes me cringe to see Umbreon, Cress, and Aggron together. And man, even but
Z's Staplemon is his Cresselia. It is his mascot. Cresselia is a mascot pick. I'm just waiting for someone in the future seasons to pick it like right before he does, just to piss him off.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a little mean. But I want to see other people have a chance to use it.
What else? I like Z Manaphy. I think even like the potential to run bulky Garchomp and just let. He has potential to have a few things or just 2 things be running in the MVP race if he plays his cards correctly. Because Manaphy and Zerk and Cress, they seem to be what could be getting the kills in the games.
His Zmon was either going to be Manaphy or Circuitry. They both basically do the same thing as a Z move user. Get the speed boost with a Z special move and then blow things back with their high special attack.
Yep, though I think Z Circuitry is not as popular.
Yeah.
After missing Hypnosis, it just happens. Do you have anything else to say about Z? Because I like this was at the turning point. Like number 10 is when I started really liking teams.
I feel like Weezing would have been a good pick, except for a lot of people have Mons with Mold Breaker on their team, so that they could just run Earthquake and blow back that Weezing with that Mega Aggron with that Cresselia, seeing as how wait, he does have a flying type in Mantine. Never mind. But Mantine is more on the special side and can be dealt with a strong Stone Edge. I do believe so.
I think you can probably get killed by a strong Stone Edge.
I'd have to run some calcs.
Alright, moving on.
Moving on to our final number 1 pick, and my number 1 pick, we both agree that Matt, coach of the Washington Red Shells, is our #1 seed. You want to take this away, or should I start?
I can go ahead and like run through the individual ones. I think if he was building around Zygarde 50, that he was doing a pretty good job because it pairs with things like Rotom Heat, Pinsir even, which is like now the thing that I'll give him credit for, and Crobat because it gets rid of grass types and bug types that would otherwise stop it from just spamming Thousand Arrows for days. And I like the defensive synergy of Ferrothorn, Blastoise, and Clefable. Like Clefable, Ferrothorn, especially because they cover each other so well. And Cofagrigus even for the extra spikes, so that gives him 3 hazards and 3 setters, and Crobat, which is a good Fasty Fogger, and Blastoise, which is a good bulky spinner. And Mega Alakazam, which outspeeds every other Mega and Mon, I believe, since no one drafted Mega Aerodactyl. So that has him being able to
No one
creep pretty
drafted a
low.
Selgor, right? Or did someone draft Selgor? I think that
I
might.
think Selgor's base 130. Nope. I'm going to have to eat my words. It's definitely not. It's base 145.
Which
so
means
that's 5
that,
points low.
yeah, so he can't run Modest on it all
It
the
means
time.
that Undeath
He has to run
is
Timid at least
320.
once.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Excelgor's like a good 10 points lower than Alakazam, but no one got it. So,
Wait, no one got a Selgor.
yeah,
I thought someone had a
closer,
Selgor.
even if
Maybe I'm thinking of a different league. Well, rip.
I would
Gets to
say
run
that
Modest. Modest Mega Alakazam. All day, every day.
Modest and can have a lot of HP. He sort of needs HP. I'm just like, Mons as frail as that kind of scare me. I just flick
Oh.
it. Look at that.
I think
And-
glass cannons work well with Matt.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at the team as a whole. I don't know if I agree with Berzion being there, but at the same time, I think that this speed is welcome because he has a pretty big speed gap between Mega Alakazam, Crobat, and then Verzion. They're like 20 points apart each. 150, 130, and 109. So that could make it easier for other opponents, but that's arguably the only big exploit I can see in the team. So if you have anything else to say, I can leave it with you.
I have a question. What's your problem with Virizion?
I just think that it gives him a bit of a flying weakness that's not really more like a
Virizion, Pinsir. Virizion,
fire
Pinsir.
weak.
Fire weakness.
Yeah. It doesn't help with Ferrothorn. Well, it's like a slight flying weakness too with Pinsir.
That's 2 months.
But
usually a weakness is usually like 3 or 4 months at least.
Okay, how about the ice weakness?
Ice weakness.
That's 3.
Virizion's grass fighting,
need
it's
any more
neutral
than that.
against Virizion, and most ice types are special, and Virizion has quite a high Spadef. Just saying.
Maybe so. Yeah, you're right.
Virizion can take a lot of special hits.
You can take like 2 special hits if it's not invested. I'm not sure.
I usually
Unless it's
run.
fine.
Usually when I bring Virizion, it usually has some Spadef. Or that, or I bring like an Assault Vest variant.
Assault vests. I can
Underrated
see.
Assault Vest Virizion. With its naturally
Yeah,
high
I
Spadef.
I guess for the one team that drafted Weavile, that was probably a guy, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, he can make punch holes.
Because you don't really need status moves on Virizion unless you're setting up like a Swords Dance or a Calm Mind on it.
Yeah.
I like his team all around. It barely has any conversion weaknesses, and the weaknesses he does have that converge are walled by a few of his other mons, like his fire weakness, Rotom Heat, Blastoise, Clefable, Snorlax with Thick Bat can take those up. He does have that Kofag for the Trick Room if he wants to bring a slower team with his Snorlax and Clefable and Blastoise and Ferrothorn.
Coil Zygarde potentially.
Yes.
It's pretty not niche, but obviously people aren't expecting the slower Zygarde set.
What happens? How does someone beat Clefable and defeat other mons? If you want to defeat Clefable, you have to bring a mon with a poison or steel type, and there's nothing really else that poison and steel can do a lot to on his team.
Yeah, but when he has Zygarde with his Clefable, it's not as if any poison or steel types are going to have an advantage.
I know, that's what I'm saying. If someone brings poison or steel to deal with Clefable, they're not hitting much else with it.
Pretty much.
Clefable is a sleeper agent in Matt's team.
Yeah, I suppose if he had something like a nuke, like Mamoswine on Teeny's team, then could punch holes potentially, but
for that, well, I guess if it's running superpower, could punch holes for that Snorlax.
Yeah, and Ferrothorn.
But can it really do much to Rotom Heat? I guess Stone Edge.
Yeah.
It depends. Depends what he brings on his Mamoswine. You never know.
The Victini that'll probably soft check the Rotom. We're sort of getting into the theory now.
But really I think we can both agree the reason Matt has such a good team is that no one sniped him whole draft, which is quite surprising.
That.
How does that happen? No snipes whatsoever.
Oh yeah, I was so like I wouldn't say I was even surprised after the Clefable one. I'm just like, oh, he has this master plan, and even if he was sniped, probably wouldn't tell us. But deep down, I think he wasn't.
I don't think it was sniped either. I was kind of looking at the first round once my tank growth was taken, but I wanted more of a physical death.
But that was drafted last, so I'm assuming that you didn't want it.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. I was looking at it, but it was more of a special defense, and for my grass type, I wanted something that could take like Earthquakes better, so I went with Chestnut.
Yeah. Do we have any more glorious praise throw at Matt? The better.
Catch us next time on WCBL Power Rankings. Power Rankings. Power Rankings. Power Rankings.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.